AI and the role of translators and project managers in game localization process. Mr. Zeng, the floor is yours.
Uh, Hello, can you see my screen? Localization process. So first of all, we should know that since the launch of ChatGPT in 2022, large language models (LLM) have gained prominence, and there have already been a lot of research comparing translation quality between LLM and neural machine translation. And as far as I can see, that this afternoon, many of our speakers they are focusing still on neural machine translation, but my study is focusing on LLM, and there have been studies found out that LLM is the translation quality made by LLM is better than NMT in many aspects, including readability, fluency, sophistication, except loyalty. Yeah, except loyalty. Since LLM is built not specifically for translation, so the loyalty is still has to be improved. But we can already see that LLM is widely applied, at least in the field of game localization. And currently, the studies on ChatGPT or other LLM models uses in game localization is still limited, except Mangarin, who published her paper to use ChatGPT to do some creative translation regarding the specific skill names in games, and the result is good regarding the language pair between English and Spanish. The result is it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. That's as far as and we know as regarding the status quo of the research. So first of all, let's talk about AI's application in games and game localization. First, let's see on the left. On the left, we have a dilemma regarding the capability and alignment of AI. Since time is limited, I won't explain in detail, but I will try to connect it to the field of game localization. In game localization, AI tools such as LLM, they are becoming increasingly powerful. That means it has a high capability, but if these tools are not properly aligned with our localization goals, such as maintaining cultural nuances, game tone, or player immersion, they may produce translations that are inaccurate or culturally insensitive. That's what we call high capability and low alignment. However, if we just do some fine tune, if we just to modify it to make it align with our scopers or goals better, it may sacrifice some of its capability. So that's the dilemma in the field of game localization. The high capability ensures that AI can efficiently handle the complexity and the volume of localization tasks, and high alignment ensures that AI outputs meet the expectation of developers, translators, players, and respecting both cultural and linguistic subtleties. So the LLM is still developing fast, and it aims for both high capability and high alignment. And in the near future, we can see that LLM will be more widely applied in the field of game localization. On the right side, we can see I'm talking about the stable diffusion released an astronaut riding a horse. So how does it relate to game localization? What I want to say is that AI has empowered the game industry as a whole. You know why game localizer is the first or the vanguard in using LLM in their practice is simply because the game industry is just transforming and evolving so quickly. Not in the past, the game company they had a lot of a lot of painters to artists to draw. Now many of them are starting to use generative AI to generate pictures. So with this speed boost, they require more multilingual contents to be delivered. That's a challenge for the game localization companies regarding their productivity. So I also included some Chinese games, including Blacksmith Wukong, Tower of Fantasy. I'm sorry, I should also have input Stellar Blade, a game developed by a Korean company. I also love that game. It's just for example, as you can see. So with this context in mind, so I wanna explore how how LLM is perceived and used in the field of game localization, and this study is guided by the theoretical framework of extended cognition. Extended hypothesis is that as long as we can see, if we use cell phone, just as in the beginning of my speech, I used my cell phone Siri to set a timer for me, 20 minutes, in case I just being too immersed in my speech that I forget time, I take up too much time. So we can see that the phone is the extended mind of me. So as AI have been incorporated in many parts of game localization, we can also see that AI has been a part of extended cognition of the game localization practitioners, mainly including translators and project managers. And regarding the second term I'm using is the scaffold, which first emerged in the field of education, and then Risku applied it in the field of translation studies. In the field of game localization, we can see that the game localizers they use tools. They use translation memories and other terminology management tools to as scaffolds. They also use the people, the collaboration as scaffolds, and on top of that, they also have the institution, which means the game localization companies, dubbing studios, and many other companies as institutional scaffolds. With this series in mind, it guided my interview questions, in which I hold a group discussion in a famous Chinese game localization company to discuss with them about their perception of the usage of AI in their game localization task, and how it affects their routine and how they perceive it. Is it a threat, or is it a beneficial thing to their future? How they perceive it, how they use it. And with that in mind, I conducted my research. My research is triangulated by my observation, since I conducted ethnographic study, in-field studies in that company. So I can see that in many of their daily work, they have already applied AI into their daily workflow. The top three of LLM model they are using is ChatGPT and Dawei Kimi. Dawei and Kimi is developed by Chinese companies, and we all know that in the competition of AI, China is an important competitor with America. So it's not surprising that LLM models developed by Chinese companies are also widely applied in the game localizers' work. The benefits of my group interview is that we can have this kind of dynamic interaction, so that we can talk as freely as we want, and we don't need to be anxious, or they may face a PhD student like me to talk with them. They will feel like okay, it's monitored. You may just give this some bad feedback to my boss or something. Group discussion can also triangulate some of the findings as evidenced by my field notes, and through the group discussion with project managers, translators, and the game company's managers, I have concluded the five themes. Five themes are deducted from the transcripts. The first is assistant or threat. Some of them regard AI as an assistant to their routine, while others think it's a threat. Some also AI has greatly transformed the translation expertise required for game localizers. What's more, ethics and accountability, trust and reliability, innovation and integration are also widely discussed in this company. And in the next slides, I will pick some of the interviewees response, and let's see how they think, how the actual practitioners think of those LLM models in their daily practice. First of all, let's see whether you regard it as assistant or threat. Some of the translators say that AI is actually a threat for new entry translators, because nowadays as far as I can see in my ethnographic study, some of the project managers, for example, they may have no competence in Korean. They can't speak Korean language, but they will use ChatGPT to generate email so that they can contact with their Korean co-workers. So yeah, and the result is pretty good. So that's of course a threat. But how about the assistant? Can AI be assistant? Yes, of course. And in this afternoon, I learned that some of the speakers they shared their insights on the translation quality of post-editing materials, but I think most of the material they are using is generated by NMT, neural machine translation. But how about the LLM? Then I can tell you that LLM can generate better translations than NMT. What's more, it greatly relieved the post-editor of their stress, their anxiety, their or even anger regarding to the post editing, because if it's generated by NMT, since NMT uses the parallel tests, some of them are of low quality, so the post editors can be very unhappy, and it's very time consuming. It costs them a huge burden regarding their calculation. However, with the introduction of LLM in their post editing process, it greatly relieved of them all the hassles, all the time-consuming work, and now they think a great burden has been shared by AI. So that's the first theme I found from the discussion. The second theme is about the translation expertise. Of course, we have many presenters. They're sharing their experience regarding translation competence, what kind of translation skills they still need. But since AI is so revolutionary, and the definition of translation expertise must change, especially regarding game localization, because this field has developed so fast, so that it is beyond the imagination of people maybe 1 or 2 years ago. The practitioners, they told me that ChatGPT, of course, they can provide creative suggestions when you found, you are too tired, you may feel that your brain is totally drained up, you can't think of all the inspirations, but AI can always give you some hints, so it can greatly enhance your ability. However, all reliance on AI could also lead to the atrophy of cognitive capabilities. For example, some new translators, they may think that, okay, since AI can produce such good translation, maybe I can just cheat. I can just deliver it to our customer since they can't tell the difference. So I don't need to put a lot of brain into the work. So that's another threat. But considering regarding the definition of translation expertise, they unanimously admit that all the game translators must first of all be a game expert. But they need to have the domain knowledge, just like the previous presenter, Mr. Muhammad, have shared his experience regarding museum translation. Game localization is also requires many more requires specialists more than generalists. You need to know game. You need to know the mechanics, the gameplay, what kind of context, what kind of feeling the gamers are expecting. You need to have this domain knowledge. Otherwise, you will soon be drop out in this field. The third theme is regarding the ethics and accountability. When I discuss the application of AI with the manager of the game localization company, he said that he is seriously continuing replacing many of the low level game translators with AI. But another manager told me that all in all, in the end, someone is gonna be responsible for all the translation, for all the services. So even in the age of AI, it should be human who should hold accountability for all the services and products that are delivered by the company. So in this regard, we can see that translators and project managers won't be replaced by AI, but they need to find a more efficient way to cooperate with each other. The fourth theme is regarding trust and reliability. In my study, the trust is guided by the theory of extended cognition. Trust is regarding to human, while reliability regarding to whether the translation produced by LLM is reliable or not. And we can tell that in this company, most of the practitioners, they think the AI translation is quite reliable, except sometimes maybe the upgradation of ChatGPT will cause some kind of hallucination, generate some nonsense, but that's a rare case. However, regarding trust, how to earn trust for translators in this AI age, they need to enhance their expertise. Otherwise, if they are all reliant on AI, their capabilities won't be trusted by the employers, and the future will be bleak for those who didn't put their mind into translation, instead just rely too much on AI. And the final theme that I found from my study is that many times nowadays game localization companies are starting to integrate AI into their daily workflow, and they are also try to innovate their service. In the past, maybe it's just like the game company give you all the material for you to translate. After it's finished, you give it back. But nowadays, since AI is introduced in game company and game localization company, you must innovate your work model so that you can catch up with the pace. And innovation is not only for the company but also for translators and project managers. Nowadays, the translators, they need to know how to use AI instead of rely too much or just avoid AI or still try to pick out the errors generated by AI. You should embrace it and use it as an augmented tool for you. So my conclusion is that AI can act as a cognitive assistant for translators and project managers, but newcomers must remain cautious about over-reliance on its capabilities. The second is that while AI translation is revolutionary, the evolving skill set of translators emphasizes the importance of domain knowledge, creativity, and digital literacy. I will finish soon. The third is that AI may handle tasks traditionally performed by humans, but accountability for decisions and outcomes ultimately rests with human practitioners. Fourth is that AI can often be reliable, especially with the development of AI. For example, companies in China, DeepSeek or some new companies. It's developing fast, but trustworthiness of a translator using AI depends significantly on their expertise, their ethics, and their judgment. The final conclusion is that AI should be seamlessly integrated into the workflows and skill sets of game localization practitioners to remain competitive. Localization companies must innovate their business models, and practitioners should continuously update their expertise to adapt to this evolving trend. Okay, thank you very much. Sorry for taking up so much time.